next item is item 33. Wayne Clark is the officer. Case number CEGMP 2018-00440. Item 33.
What's going on there? Wayne Clark City, North Miami Code Compliance. This is reference to general maintenance of the property. The property was posted with a good notice February 12, 2019 at 3 p.m. They were asked to remove the dirt mildew from the window awnings and to paint an improved color. To date, I had no contact with the owners or tenants, whoever's in charge of the property. And today it's still, it's the same. I'd like to submit the photos for the record. The first notification went out on December 5th, 2018, and the original reinspection date was January 8th, 2019.
How about notice for today's hearing?
I can't hear you.
Notice for today's hearing, you said?
Yes, that was on, it's attached to that, right? I think it was February 12th, is what?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
2019. Okay.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
The next item on the agenda is 13. Karen Jean Lewis. Case number CEPFY 2018-00628. Item number 13.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. This property was originally cited September 5th, 2018 for parking on the front lawn. Notice to appear was posted on February 13, 2019. AOS is on file. And I see here that on the 7th, was the 7th of February was the last hearing where they were found guilty and they had to abate the fine by the 27th. And the violation still remains.
Okay.
Did you want to see?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. These are pictures taken from the 5th.
These are from February 5th. I thought they were from March 5th.
Oh, no. The last time I was at the property was in February, not March.
Okay. I have must abate by February 27th. When was the last time you were there?
The reinspection date was the 27th.
Huh?
The reinspection date was the 27th.
And you didn't take any photographs?
I'm looking in the file. I don't see that I put them in here, but I did take pictures. So I have the pictures for the posting. No, I don't have any pictures in the folder from that date.
All right, I'm gonna table it. 30 days.
The next item is item number 15, Karen Jean Lewis, case number CEBPR 2018-00044, Ixnacia Voltaire. Item number 15.
City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis, comply.
Okay.
Item number 16, Karen Jean Lewis, CEWWC 2018-00120, Frenu Simeon. Item 16.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. On August the 16th, this property was cited for the roof that's in disrepair. There's a blue tarp on the roof. Notice to appear was posted on February the 19th. Correction, notice to appear was posted on February the 13th, 2019. And as of the date of the posting, the tarp still remains on the roof.
When was your last date of inspection?
The 13th at 4:40 p.m. when I went to go post the notice to appear.
Okay. We're gonna run into the same problem, cause the abatement date is February 27th.
You can go ahead and table it.
The next item is 17, Shanna Sanders is the officer for Grupo TFJ CELDR 2016-00001, item number 17.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case. It was first originally cited. Give me a moment, because this is an old one. I want to make sure I'm giving out the right information. It was originally cited January 8th, 2016. Not going to give every date that we've been back and forth, with the property, because it's been tabled quite a bit, sent quite a bit of notices, has been asked to come before the magistrate on several occasions, I'm showing here. It's a case for the land development regulation, the ordinance regarding land development regulations for the Fiat dealership on 110 Biscayne Boulevard. The best way I could present this case is by first presenting or informing you of the contract that the city has with the Fiat dealership. It opened up a contract with Fiat stating that they would issue them a business license, but they were only allowed to have 20 vehicles parked at the property, for which 30% of them were allowed to be used cars. We started receiving complaints that after they obtained the business license, on several different occasions, more than 20 cars have been cited there. I can go down to different dates that I visited the property, whereas more than 20 vehicles were parked upon my first initial inspection when I first visited in January 2016. There were 32 vehicles. went back again February 23rd. There was at that time 41 vehicles, for which 10 of them were used. Moving forward all the way back from January 20th, August 15th, September, so forth and so on. Every time I visit the property, there has been more than what the city is allowing them to have at the property. Last inspection I did was on actually the 27th, for which I noted 42 new vehicles and 14 used. As of the 27th, the Fiat dealership is not complying to what the city has agreed to let them do. So, we're asking that this case be adjudicated. I can show you photos. As you see, it's kind of a big packet. You can look through the back and forth as in, the different things that, the city has been asking. But again, as of today, well, not even going to say today, I'm so used to saying that. As of the 27th, have photos of the property still showing multiple vehicles being parked there. I am showing that proper service was given. I hand-delivered the notice to appear to a gentleman by the name of Jazz Vasquez. I'm showing here on the 15th. Wait a minute, let me make sure. Yeah, notice to appear for the March 6th special magistrates was hand-delivered to Jazz at 11:50 a.m. But again, I can show you the photos if you would like to see. Have you spoke with anyone from Fiat? I don't want to know if you want to get that on record. Every time, you can see here, it's been asked to be presented before the special magistrate, and every time they've come, they've stated that, they've been, asking for extensions. Again, this has been dating back to January 8th of 2016. As you see here tonight, no one is here. So the city is asking to, go ahead and, adjudicate this case.
So there's been hearings. They've actually showed up for the
No,
hearings.
they
and
have
it
never
continued?
showed up. I'm showing here.
Because I see this case went back to, we're going back to 2016.
Yes, I'm showing. Yeah, exactly. And as you see here,
So
if you
this is
look,
the first time
this is the
here
first.
before the special magistrate?
Exactly. It's been, like you say, going back from February 2016. The city was, trying to work something out with them. We were giving them time to come in and possibly change their licensing agreement. It didn't happen. So, on May 20th, I'm seeing that we went ahead and, proceeded to request for it to come before the magistrate. At that time, I'm showing here that their attorney, I don't even want to say who it is because it doesn't say here, asked for it to be tabled. We gave them 6 months. I'm showing another notation that they came back again December. At that time, Blanchard gave them another 6 months, came back that June of 2017. Says postponed by Jennifer Warren till March 6th, but it's been going back and forth. So yeah, this is the first time we're actually, presenting the case, requesting adjudication, but yeah.
All right. And they were given notice for today's hearing?
They were giving notice. I'm showing here that I hand delivered the notice to appear to a Jazz.
I see Jazz's name came up a couple of times here.
I'm seeing, gotta kind of look back because it's sorry now that they didn't change it. I'm showing it doesn't, the order doesn't fall in order anymore like it used to. I'm showing here February 15th that I notice to appear for the March 6th special magistrate hearing was hand delivered to Jazz at 11:50 a.m.
Okay. All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation still exists. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount. What do you say about this? It's been going on for so long. Daily fine amount of $500.
The next item is 21, Ernst Baptiste is the officer, Jose E. Baca, CEIVY 2018-00439, item 21.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami, Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for a white truck not in drivable condition. That's parked. It's full of junk and flat tires in front of the property. Property was posted on February 14, 2019. Took picture on February 27, 2019. I've spoken to the owner and nothing has been done to correct the violation.
Oh. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice to owners that failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $300.
The next item is item 22, Shanna Sanders, Jose I. Perez, CESRR 2018-00067, item 22.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case for non-compliance or not being in compliance with our ordinance for the real estate signs. This I apologize. This violation was originally opened November 19, 2018. Sent the second letter on December 3rd, 2018. As of last week, February 27th, when I re-inspected the property, I noted that the sign was still in non-compliance. The real estate sign, per the notation I have here, needs to have the zoning classification when it's a residential property. And I can show pictures if you would like to see of the residential sign that does not have any zoning classification of any nature on the sign. I am showing that proper service was given. Notice to appear was posted at the property February 15th at 11:17 a.m. Have not had any contact with anybody at the property. Tried to call the number on the real estate sign, but it's showing that the voicemail is full. Again, as of last week, February 27th, no zoning classification is on the real estate sign that's posted in the front of the property.
I see.
Our code states that, again, zoning classification needs to be placed on there. If it's a single-family home, multifamily, things of that nature, the sign needs to read that, unless it's a commercial property.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication. Property owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If a violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $150.
The next item is 23, John Dorville. Laura C. Lopez is the customer, and the case is CEGMP 2018-00450, item 23.
This case is a new one in reference to the property listed as 535 Northeast 133rd Street. It is in reference to missing tile on the front of the property. This property was initially cited on December the 7th, 2018. Proper notice was given, and the notice of to appear was posted on 2/12/19 at 2:05 p.m. I have pictures.
And where is this?
This is missing tiles in the front of the property. It's a duplex, one side, versus, obviously two doors, two sections with tile, and that section is missing that large section of tile on it, sorry.
Okay. All right, and you said it was posted when?
It was posted on the property 2/12/19 at 12:05 p.m.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice. Given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $150.
Next item is 27, Ernst Baptiste is the officer, Michelle and Adrian Alexandra. Case number CEJNK 2018-00218, item 27.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a new case that was opened back in November 19, 2018 for
July.
junk on the side of the property. Property was posted on 2/14/19 at 3:20 p.m. and I took picture on my last inspection, February 27, 2018. Junk item still leaning against the wall.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice. Given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $150.
The next item is item number 30, John Dorville is the officer, Prestige Cornerstone LLC, CEMHS 2018-00038, item 30.
This is in reference to a actually a residential building, multi-unit, which is commercial, that has several units. This has been going on since December the 3rd of 2000. They were actually noticed on December 3rd, 2018. It's in reference to leaks in the building. This building is under renovation currently and has very few residents. It's a multi-unit building, but it has very few residents, but they're still having this issue with leaking in the hallways of the building. picture's an example of one of the leaks. There are various leaks throughout the hallways of this particular building, but once again, it is under construction, and they are doing renovations, but there are still occupants, residents in the city, of the city.
Right. Okay.
Originally,
Posted.
posted on 2/12/19 at 4:07 PM.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city and turn adjudication. Owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If that violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $350.
The next item is item 37. John Dorville is the officer. Sedama Investments, MHVIO 2018-01346.
This violation is for a commercial building with missing signage on top. So this is a lit or lighted commercial sign that has no frontage on it. So the wiring in addition to the lighting are exposed to the elements. I have pictures. It was initially cited on 12/17/2018. I posted it on 2/12/19 at 3:40 PM. And I'll show you the pictures. The photo that I am showing is specific, the issue. It is a signage which is lit, or it has electrical attached to it that's missing the frontage.
Is it a safety issue?
I believe it's a safety issue with it being exposed to the elements. You have electrical elements that can get wet and cause a fire, could possibly cause a fire.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I'm sorry, I guess while asking you the question, I forgot to document when you said it was posted.
It was posted 2/12/19 at 3:40 PM.
Okay. All right. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500 only because of the safety hazard issues raised by the code enforcement officer.
The last case on the agenda, item 38, Ernest Baptiste is the officer. Ulrich Merle, CENUS 2018-02538.
Ernst Baptist, City of Miami, Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for two wrecked car parked on the property. Spoke to the owner, instructed that the wrecked car cannot be stored at the property, and posted the property on 2/14/2019 at 2:30 p.m. This is a new case that was open back in November 30th, 2018. Took picture on February 14, 2019 of the wrecked car. It's still there.
What's going on with this? Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe. Huh? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
That's okay.
I think it's one of yours, Mr. Doville. I was inquiring about it because I still had it and I didn't, I don't have any notations, which means that we didn't hear it yet. Okay, I apologize, Mr. Baptiste. Tell me
214.
about 214.
2/14/2019.
19, okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation still exists. I find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $200.
And the last case is item 14. John Dorville is the officer. Case CENUS 2018-02574.
The last case for the evening
You're so
is,
lucky.
as always, as usual, is a nuisance case. This is for a property. This is actually a vacant lot right next to a duplex. The vacant lot owner has had this tree, which has fallen on the gate of the duplex owner's property and has crossed completely over on their property since, I believe, Hurricane Irma. This case, this violation was actually initially opened on 12/7/2018. It's a nuisance case. However, I obviously didn't want to interject the city in the property dispute, but I did cite them for having the tree on the from one property being laying on the other side to another. I have pictures. It was posted on 2/12/19 at 3:12 p.m. It is a fairly large tree, and the property owner, the adjacent property owner, just to clean up their property, which actually I had spoken to them about the property at the city's request, that they cut some of the limbs and tidy up the property. So I am aware that the property owner went to some great expense to have what was the remnants, not only the remnants, but actually just partial remnants of the tree removed from her property.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice. The owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until March 27th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $350.
And those are all the cases on the agenda.
All right, we are adjourned.